Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Chris. Today, I wanted to talk about something interesting. So, I was flipping through the silver channels the other day, and I did see, I think his name is Silver 4321 or something like that. But he was talking about that he's going through some family issues, and he needed to liquidate some of his stack for cash. And he was selling a pretty nice little haul of gold, platinum, and silver. So I think he had, let's see, he had two 1/10 platinum Britannias, two gold, I believe they were Eagles, two gold 1/10 Eagles. He had a 1 gram PAMP gold wafer, and he had three platinum 1 gram wafers. He was looking for $800 for all of it. So let's see, I'm trying to figure this out. 200, 600. I think there might have been one more item in there, one more either piece of platinum or piece of gold. But that's not a bad price at all. Actually, for the PAMP 1 gram wafer, he was asking, I think, $50, which that's a pretty darn good deal, even for, like, especially for a wafer, because they usually have the big premium on them. So if you're in the mood to buy with these lower prices, because what he was saying was that he was going to end up sending them to JM Bullion or APMEX anyway, and so he wanted to liquidate them to like another stacker as opposed to sending them in. So pretty interesting. And I think he said he accepted like PayPal or Venmo, or one of those. It looks like he's a newer channel. He's got like 250 subs, something like that, but he's been making videos for a while, so I don't think it's anything shady or anything like that. It sounds pretty genuine, and his videos are pretty consistent. So like I said, like if you're looking for a steal on especially gold and platinum, you really don't see too many deals on those. I'd definitely take a look and find that channel. If I get a chance, I'll actually link it in the description of this video, the link to that video, so that way yeah, somebody can take advantage, because that's a really good deal. So I was watching Yankee Stacking's coin dealer. I forget what his name is. What's his name? I want to say Phil. No, it's not Phil. One of those generic names. He's got a really generic name, but I'm just kidding. Don't take offense. But yeah, he was going on a rant the other day about somebody asking him about silver prices, what's going on with silver prices, and he went on this big rant, like explaining like all these factors that he feels that are affecting silver price. And the funny part for me is, like, I don't really subscribe to much of it, because, like, price, especially with the precious metals, because it's such a manipulated market, there's no real reason. We'd like to think, I mean, we've all been taught, especially stackers and preppers, like you've all been taught, like, these are the reasons why precious metals are important, inflation, or black swan event, or SHTF scenario, like those kind of things, or even, yeah, I mean, just again, protecting that value over time. But the thing is, like, when you're trying to translate that in the spot, it doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. Like a lot of things right now, for example, like stock market, the funny part right now is, if you really tried, to do the analysis on, like, let's say a stock, on like what it should be valued at and what it's currently valued at, there's no correlation there. It's completely out of whack. Like, all of the fundamentals about what something is valued at are just right out the window right now. And so because of that, like, when I hear things like, Yankee Stacking's coin dealer talking about, the fundamentals of metals, like, I get where he's coming from, but I don't necessarily agree, because, like I said, like, to me, it's, there's no real reason. Like, there's a reason, but we don't know it, and it's nothing fundamental. It's JP Morgan needs to stack up on some physical, so they slam the price down so they can get their hands on more. I don't know. Something along those lines would be something that would probably make sense to me, as opposed to politics or this or that. I mean, it just is what it is. Something also that's interesting is, I can't remember what channel it was, but they were talking about they were talking about the Morgans, oh, the Morgans being the favorites of the Old West. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, I never thought of it like that. Is that true? That, I mean, the time frame seems like it would be right about right, because the Wild West was after, pretty much after the Civil War, right? So that time frame up until, you know, the early 1900s, I could see. But I never, you know, I mean, you look at this and you think, oh, well, that comes from a very civilized and, you know, industrialized, civilized society. Like, you know, this isn't anything from, you know, Wild West times. But no, when you think about it, yeah, it kind of is. So that's pretty interesting about Morgans. I never really, again, really thought about them that way. But this is one of the things that I like about, like, Constitutional and things like that, especially Morgans. Like, you know, I will say that I had a negative opinion of Morgans because you always see the infomercials for, like, the Morgan dollar, blah, blah, blah. And, like, I always laugh because I'm like, oh my God, it's just a coin. But the thing is that, you know, when you really take the time to understand, like, you know, what these guys have been through, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. And it really does have, you know, an advantage in that way over something like, you know, generic bullion. So these little things that, you know, you hear on all these channels, it only takes like those little tidbits and it just completely changes your perspective of what it is that you have, you know, in your stack, which is pretty crazy because, like, if you're constantly learning, like, it, you know, it changes your perspective. The other thing too is I was watching Ragtag stacking one of his videos about the Canadian silver, and I was like, I love Canadian silver, not just the Royal Canadian Mint products, but the fact that, like, the Royal Canadian Mint just makes such a wide variety of stuff that, like, when you see just the circulated silver coinage from Canada, it's amazing. It's interesting. It's cool. It just it feels like America's a lot more uniform. Like things like the Peace Dollar or the Morgan or things like that. Like, they come around, but they, you know, and they stay for a long time, but they don't have the variety. And I mean, there's pros and cons to that, but I think you know, with the Canadian silver, it's pretty interesting to see that wide variety and the fact that they must have valued having that type of a currency to have produced it for so long and in so many forms. So again, pretty interesting, all these different things. So when you get time, go out there, watch all those different videos, see what you can learn about the things that you already have, and keep stacking. See you next time.